All right then, the bus driver is fantastic. Stay with us for that. It is being called the plague of the 21st century, a condition that's reached epidemic proportions. And if you crave coffee and can't relax without a wine, you could be a sufferer of it yourself. It's known as adrenal fatigue, and it's said to occur when the body is overwhelmed by stress. But while some people swear it's reaching crisis point, many doctors argue it doesn't even exist. Jill Higgins looks at whether the problem is really in the adrenal gland or in the mind.
On the way to work, I like to get a cup of coffee.
Long black, one string, one flavor. Long black, one large latte. Long black, sir. Double flat white with one sugar.
How much do you need a coffee in the morning?
Oh, without it I can't function.
It's a pick-me-up we can't put down.
As soon as the coffee shop's open, that gets me off to a great start.
A harmless fad or a sign of ill health? Needing a coffee is one of the symptoms thought to mask stress caused by adrenal fatigue. There are lots more.
I always have trouble getting up in the morning.
Feeling run down and stressed, sometimes.
Sometimes you just have the urge, I need a chocolate bar or I need some potato crisp.
I think it's normal to feel tired, don't get me wrong. We're talking when fatigue impacts on the health, on the hormone system, to the point where it's causing the person to seek medical advice. Now in the 21st century, it's causing major problems. Cravings, tired all the time, dragging the chain, goodbye sex drive, there's nothing there.
And that's not all. They claim headaches, allergies and even asthma could be caused by the effect of stress on these tiny glands.
The adrenal glands are glands which allow us to recover and cope with stress. But when the demand of that person exceeds the ability of the adrenal to recover, the person starts slowly sinking into a compromised adrenal state.
It was a whole exhaustion of your whole being.
Pip Clapperton, a single working mum, thinks she was a classic case.
Part of your brain's saying, what's your problem? But the anxiety just takes over because you are just so tired, you can't think straight. It feels like you're running on empty the whole time. From the moment you wake up, you're forever just looking to go to bed.
I put it down to adrenal fatigue because having studied a book on adrenal fatigue the year prior, I recognised immediately a typical pattern.
But this specialist has studied the adrenal glands for years, and he thinks it's nonsense. He says there's no scientific evidence, and although he accepts the problem, he doesn't think this is a solution.
There is unmet need out there. There are people with ongoing symptoms who really are looking for something, and I understand that, but I think linking that with something which is unproven, that actually ties people to buying products and so forth is, potentially harmful.
So these are the treatments that would be suggested?
Correct. It's lifestyle, really, diet and the product. So really the role of the adrenal gland in stress.
Eric Backer knows what the critics think, but says the change he sees in patients like Pip is proof enough.
When I think back to what I was like, I know this has made a difference.
For more than a decade, Pip had been trying to work out what was wrong.
Do you think you've exhausted all of the traditional medical route?
I really did. Tired of doctors sort of saying, oh yes, well, you're tired, it's hard work being a mum, with no real answers, or saying, oh yes, you're depressed, give me antidepressants.
They didn't work, alternative therapies didn't work, but she believes this adrenal fatigue treatment did the trick. Even her daughters noticed the change.
She has a lot more energy, which makes her a lot more happier. Also, this amount of energy gives her a chance to do things like this by herself.
And I'd wake up and look forward to the day.
And you're sure you're not being paid, because you do sound like an advert for it?
Wish I was. No, I'm not being paid. My reasonings for doing this is solely so that if somebody can hear the story and think, oh well, I might give that a go because I've tried other things and they haven't worked, give it a go.